What up, fam? Chief X, the God best reincarnated with some more common sense science. So today's topic is, are you out of your African mind? Right? That's the title. Because I ain't gonna say huge majority. Half the people in the conscious community are out of their African minds. Okay? I stand on the shoulders of master teachers. Okay? These master teachers I'm talking about is Dr. Ben, his student, Ashraf Kwesi, another one of his students, Mathu Attar, Dr. Khalid Muhammad, more of a revolutionary than scholar, John Henry Clark. These giants, I stand on their shoulders, okay? I agree with their teachings. They are historians. You understand what I'm saying? They taught African history. Talking about John Henry Clark and Dr. Ben. They taught African history. Nothing else. So I'm trying to figure out, where did we go wrong today? How did we get diverted and off track? How did we go from embracing African history, African traditions, being interested in African spirituality, to going towards Hinduism and off track of what the master teachers taught? Hinduism is kundalinis, chakra, astrology, and things like that. That's Hinduism. Those are belief systems based in the Hindu culture, the Indian culture, not African culture. Them things are not found nowhere in Africa. That's a fact. How did we get caught up? Now, let me show you some books of mine. This used to be the book I call the Bible. Right? The Destruction of Black Civilization by Chancellor Williams. This was like the Bible, the Holy Grail, right? In modern times, today, in my opinion, this is the new Bible. Mayat, Guiding Principles of Moral Living by Ife Kilimanjaro, PhD, Taka Kilimanjaro, PhD, Yahara, and I can barely pronounce the names, Anab, right? These are modern day scholars. This book is powerful. This is my Bible today. And when I say that, I mean it gives you a whole understanding of African history in totality and what we need to be doing and focused on. This other book by the same people goes into research. I haven't got into this one yet. I'm halfway through this one. I haven't touched this one yet. But it's another great book. A researcher's first handbook. Ife Kilimanjaro, Tada Kilimanjaro, both PhDs. Scholars. Okay? It's a lot of anti-African sentiments floating around in the air lately. Dr. Wesley Muhammad was on the Breakfast Club morning show speaking to masses, talking a bunch of dumb shit, with spewing a bunch of anti-African rhetoric, talking about you don't need, it's not relevant, or it's useless to get a degree in Africana Studies. All the while, he has one in Islamic studies. He has a PhD in Islamic studies. But he chose conveniently and purposely to bash Africana studies. That's what Muslims do. Muslims in the Nation of Islam, which was my flashpoint, respect to the Old Testament Nation of Islam. The Nation of Islam, in its some of its members, especially Dr. Wesley Muhammad, they don't consider themselves African. To throw you off, they'll say, I'm black, or the black god. They will never say African. They will say, I'm Asiatic and I'm black. They will run from saying I'm African. The Moors are the same way. The Nation of Islam, most Muslims, Nuwapians, Hebrew Israelites, they can't stand Africa and Africans. Hebrew Israelite says the Africans is their enemy. That's what they say in general. All these cliques, all the religious cliques are Asiatics, is what they claim to be, not African, right? All religions are anti-African. Christianity, Islam, Judaism are anti-African. They disrespect and badmouth Africa. They demonize Africa in the holy books, in all the teachings. In Islam, the Holy Land is Mecca, outside of Africa. Africa is not holy to Muslims. To Christians, Israel is the Holy Land, not Africa. So any black Americans or African Americans embracing religion, they embrace two religions mainly. That's Christianity and Islam. And that's because their first slave masters, first the Arab in Islam was their first slave master from 700 to 1500. They taught the white boy institutionalized slavery and made a business out of it. So we're either Christian or Muslim because our slave master was Christian or Muslim. Bottom line, if our slave master or our conqueror, our colonizer was neither of them things, neither would we be today. Because Africa didn't embrace religion. They were more, I would say, I'm going to use the terminology what I consider myself. They were more pantheist. Or than I am. Pan meaning all. Or the dog, the cat, the bull, the lion, the shepherd, the monkey, the water, the trees are all. The all equals the one to our African ancient ancestors. And to me today, that's why I'm a pantheist. The all equals the one. I don't say I'm an atheist. I say I'm a pantheist, which some people call a soft atheist. But whatever it is, I'm a pantheist. I feel all in creation is of the Creator. It's of creation. It's the essence of creation. The all is the one. I'm God. The damn tree is God. It's all godly in nature and natural. Okay? I don't know how you guys got off track and got out of your African mind to embrace Hinduism. Most of you guys have left Christianity and stepped into the conscious community, and you looked around and you said, oh shit, is this what they doing? Oh, that's how they get down? Oh, that's what they talking about? Oh, that's what they believe? And never done your own research to say, oh, is this what this person believes? Let me look into it to see if it's factual or true. You didn't do that. You fell in line with falsehoods and myths and said, I'm going to be into my kundalini and chakras and astrology, have magic candles and all this shit, because that's the thing, that's the end thing, and that's what everybody's doing. So I'm falling in line. I came out of sheephood and came into another sheephood. and become another type of follower. It's the same thing. Religion is a belief system, and all that other bullshit I talked about is a belief system. You can't prove it. You can't prove shit in religion. You can't prove shit in all these belief systems, and this Hinduism, and all this other stuff I've been talking about. You guys are out of your African minds. Meaning, slight mental illness is running rampant. Let's be real. Mental illness is running rampant. People are looking for something to follow once they get out of religion. Y'all got out of religion and jumped into the conscious community. Okay? See, when I jumped into the conscious community, I can understand. I was pseudo for a minute until I found my lane on my journey, right? I used to listen to Phil Valentine, Dr. Jewel Pookrum, Bobby Hemmett, right? I was at live Phil Valentine lectures before it was a YouTube or Facebook. Y'all don't know Phil Valentine. Y'all don't know what the fuck you talking about. I've been down in it. I sat at Phil Valentine's lecture way before there was a YouTube or a Facebook for 6 hours straight. You know he goes in for hours. I sat there for 6 hours straight listening to him. For at the end, he was talking about health and good food and what to eat and all this old stuff, and I was into it. And then at the end, he said, we were trying to figure out, well, what the fuck do we eat? Because you said every goddamn thing is bad for you. We trying to figure out what to eat. For him to say at the end of the lecture, all you need is sunlight and water. All we need is sunlight and water. I couldn't fuck with him no more after that. I couldn't. I couldn't take him serious no more. Phil Valentine and Bobby Hemmett ain't kicking no real shit. They're not kicking no science. They're kicking a lot of pseudo shit. Now, they're brilliant people. They know a lot of shit, but people mix in falsehoods with truth, right? That's the game. And you can't see through it because you're not wise and you don't have the motherfucking experience. They throw a truth out and hit you with two falsehoods. Throw a truth, hit you with two falsehoods. And you can't distinguish because you're all rattled and out of your African mind. I've been telling, I would pay anybody $100 on the spot if you show me any in ancient Africa that practicing Kundalini shit, chakras, or astrology, or tarot card reading, or palm reading, any of that bullshit. I got $100 if you can prove ancient Africans, our ancestors, practice that. I don't know whose ancestors y'all are following today. You Sisters Guts is representing what Skull and Bones in the African conscious, so-called conscious community. Skull and Bones is pagan shit. It's neo-pagan shit. It's that white girl shit. And when I go into y'all groups, oh, I'll be looking. All these magic groups and candle groups and all this magic shit, you know what I mean? All this spooky shit, when I go into your groups, it's heavily race mixed. Keep it real. Y'all teaching white folks and white girls Ifa up in there? You shaking hands, hugging and kissing with these Europeans up in these groups? You teach them everything about African spirituality in there. I've been watching. And y'all are bouncing up off each other. You teaching them Ifa and different shit, and they kicking that neo-paganism, and y'all vibing off of each other up in these groups, you girls, sisters. And all y'all is newbies. So nobody, it's just like a blind leading the blind. Nobody knows what the fuck they talking about. You're out of your African mind. That's what it is. You out of your African mind. No master teacher who've done 60 decades, 20, 30, 40, 50 years of field research. Not talking shit from a motherfucking garage or no motherfucking rented room. These people were in the field on the ground doing field research for decades. Did they once ever talk about Kundalini and chakras being represented in African? What real African scholars ever talked about that? Where did y'all go wrong? Whose shoulders are you standing on? You fucking with them Indians. You fucking with them Japanese. When you was in the church, you was anti-African. When you was with Islam, you was anti-African. You step out the church, you step out the mosque or the masjid, and you jump right into another belief, and that's Hinduism. And you think it's African spirituality. It's not. It's not. So I'll be on that science shit. I'll be promoting science for a reason. Because I know, and you should know also, that food, clothing, and shelter, practical shit, food, clothing, and shelter didn't come about no way but by science. For you to have food, clothing, and shelter, science made it happen, not pseudoscience. Pseudoscience has not created anything of benefit to you. No, it hasn't. Okay? For us to move forward, we need to be involved in STEM. Science, technology, and math. Those are things that expand and make a culture or a people, a nation, progress. STEM. No pseudoscience can you progress. It keeps you in a state of la-la land. You in fantasy land, and you teach and you push. Since you're in fantasy land, you're so engulfed in fantasy land, you are anti-science now. Just like when you was in religion, you were anti-scientific. You get out of religion thinking you get into some real shit and fall into some bullshit, and now you become anti-science again. Well, science ain't always dead. Well, science ain't dead. Most of y'all don't know what the fuck spirituality is or spirit. You have the definition wrong. 90% got the definition wrong in my opinion. You know what spirit is to me? Breath. Or your personality. That's what spirit is to me. Spirit is individual, not corporate. It's your own individual motherfucking thing. It's individual, not corporate. So when I say spirit is a person's personality, you have your own personality. If I say, hey, I like her spirit, what the fuck do you think I'm saying? I like her ways, I like her personality. It's individual to her only. Yeah, we're spiritual, but you just don't got the definition of spiritual wrong. Your definition of spirit and spirituality comes from religion. So when you jump out of that and you get talking about this spiritual, you think talking about kundalinis and chakras and shit is some spiritual shit. It has nothing to do with spirituality at all. It's a malfunction of spirituality. If I say I like his or her spirit, I like their personality and their ways. She's a spirited cheerleader. He means she has personality and spunk. A person is how can I say it? That's another discussion. A person's spirit is their personality. Or some say it's breath. It has nothing to do with you thinking because you spreading around some motherfucking crystals around yourself and wearing crystals around your neck. That means you're a spiritual person. That's a bunch of bullshit. No, it don't. It means you're not in tune. Right? It means you're a sheep. You're a follower. You guys are out of your African mind. No history. See, when I tell people when you want to learn and you're doing research, if I want to learn about Islam, I'll be a fool to go to a Muslim or to Islamic material to research that, to learn about Islam as a fact. If I go to a Muslim, his job is to bring me into the fold, so his information he gives me may be biased. Same with Christianity. If I'm researching Christianity, I don't want to go to the pastor. I don't want to go to the church members. Their job is to bring me into the fold. Their information is biased. It's here to trap me. What I do is go to a historian. A historian has no dog in the fight. He don't give a shit about either one of them motherfuckers. He's here to teach you some factual information and some truth and bring you some evidence and proof of things in history. That's who you go to. Go to a neutral party, which is a historian. Religious people are here to get members and followers. You know why? Followers and members equal money. I want 100 million Facebook followers. Why? The more followers I have, the more money I make because I'm selling products on Facebook. The more followers, the more money. So, in religion, their duty is to get followers. So I will tell you anything to get you in my web. To get you caught up in my web. To get you caught up in my web of deceit. Hey. People is hustling and trying to make money. Right? I had so much more to say, but it's kind of slipping my mind. But I do want to recommend that people get these 2 books. Right? Great books. If you want to get on track, get these books. Okay? So, get your mind right. Come back home into your African mind. Okay? We all have slight mental health issues, but some are just worse than others. Somebody was talking about astrology. Hey, wrong. Every time somebody tried to do some chart readings on me, wrong. And got mad because I told them you were wrong. Right? I said astrology is directly related to mental health issues. Anybody that thinks they know your personality and never met you or talked to you, and they know your personality based off you were born on a certain month, has to be a tad bit off mentally. To think they know your personality based off a month you were born in. How crazy is that? They drank the Kool-Aid. Kool-Aid drinkers. Black folk are the most vulnerable people to go into a cult.